What's up, guys? Matt here, coming at you with another quick video. This one, we're going to be pulling apart the Capra 18 again, this time to install the Furitek Bettle chassis. Now, if you watch the channel, you know I recently installed one of these on my TRX4M, and with the laydown servo mount that I made, this has really become one of my favorites to drive right now. And so I'm super excited to get this installed on the Capra. I am running the killer chassis right now, and I really like this. And if you're wanting to run like a body and get away from the Capra cage, this is going to be a great way to go. If you're wanting to just go straight up performance, no body, you know, this kind of cage style right here, then I feel like this Furitek is going to be a great way to go. And the thing about it is, like I mentioned in the video on the killer chassis, this comes in at $200. That's pretty expensive. And this Furitek is like $80 for this carbon fiber setup right here. All of this stuff, $80. So they have did a really good job at keeping the price down on this. They have the 2FM colorway, is what I always call it, the rainbow color, for like $90. It's $10 more, titanium. So you can also go that route. This is going to have a lot of, you know, lower link mount options. And look at this thing, like it's going to bring the Capra kind of down to the actual 18th scale, in my opinion. You know, this is really not 18th scale, never has been. You know, this is Traxxas 118 and Axial's 118. Huge difference there. And I just really have never drove this much just because of the size. I wish it was more this size, but it is what it is. So we are going to install this chassis on there and hopefully make this thing something that I really prefer to drive a little more. And I've really got to look into some wheels and tires for this thing, just because I feel like this chassis right here is going to make it what I wanted it to be from the get-go. So I'm going to get started with the install, and then we'll take a look at it and obviously do some running with it. All right, so here it is all finished up. I absolutely love the look of this. You know, I was just burnt out on the Capras. We've had so many Capras in this area for the last 5 years. It's just like Capra overload. So, you know, excited to get a different chassis on here. I was playing around with mounting the battery on the servo there. Probably going to go with a smaller, like 3S pack or something in this thing. Maybe I'll pick up one of the mounts that mounts the battery like behind the servo, or make one or something. But just slap the battery in the slot where it's meant to go in this chassis. It has a perfectly good spot for it up front. You can see this thing, it's pretty stiff. The shocks are still 100% stock. I haven't touched them to anything. This thing's sitting all jacked up like a monster truck there, but I'm going to do some tuning with the shocks and kind of lower it some. This chassis has a lot of clearance on the skid, and you know, if I don't even have high clearance links or anything on this thing yet, but it's so light, even though it's sitting really high right now. That weight up top is very, very light, so it was able to do some pretty cool stuff. I feel like just getting it a little bit lower and getting the shocks where they actually move instead of just being sticks will really help this thing out. You can see I wasn't able to get that done, but I did kind of beat on this thing a little bit, and no issues with anything breaking on this chassis. The only thing plastic is the roof, and I hit it pretty hard a couple times. No issues with it. It takes a pretty hard fall right here, and it actually hit like right dead on that roof and didn't have any problem with it. So I'm gonna try to get a little more weight down low maybe on this. I'm gonna put the brass portal covers from Trill, probably front and back, and then I did order me some just cheap old wheels and some 1.55 Proline Swampers. I want to keep it 1.5 at least, because I still feel like this thing should have been a little smaller at least, being 18th scale, or they should have just called it like 14th or 12th or something. But it is pretty cool, some of the lines that it unlocks, because maybe somewhere a 10 scale is too big, too wide, you can take this thing. So it does bring a new, unique size to crawling, and I actually found myself really enjoying it now. So I'm going to start doing a few more upgrades. I slapped this high voltage servo I had in here, and the Furitek system just wasn't having it. I was having a lot of brownouts, so I'm probably going to go with a little lesser servo. This thing don't need a massive beast servo in it with 1.5s. So I'm going to change that out, maybe drop down a little bit on my power. I'm not much on running more wires for like a BEC and stuff, so probably just drop that down a little bit and be fine. But you can see, even though this thing's like jacked up to the moon, it did some pretty cool lines, and there was one there I kind of liked how it just would spin a little bit, work its way over till it could get up that. So overall, man, I'm actually getting excited about this thing now. So I think this chassis kind of got me sitting where I want to be with it. Just a few tweaks here and there. Really excited about this new spot we found. Got some really cool crawling in. Got some good 10 scale lines and stuff. So I may throw together just like a 10 scale running vid. A lot more 24 scale coming, of course. Working on another kind of hybrid build. This line right here was really fun. It was just wide enough you could get this truck across it, and even though the stock tires are just folding in half, it was able to get around this, and so I thought it was a pretty good line. Of course, everything looks steeper in person than it does on video. This is a pretty good side hill for this truck, especially with those tires folding over like they are. So really enjoying this one now where it's sitting. The Furitek stuff has just totally changed this truck. Still running the motor and ESC in here. Crazy smooth slow crawl. Now this chassis, absolutely loving it. I just need some shocks, those wheels and tires, maybe some high clearance links eventually, and I feel like I'll be sitting pretty dang good. So you guys let me know what you think about this one. Really excited to do some tuning on it. Like I said in the beginning, the cool thing about this thing, the size that it is it's almost like taking a 10 scale with you, but you don't have to pack a big, huge 10 scale. So starting to like it. You guys let me know what you think. I appreciate everybody watching. Peace.